Hi there, everyone. I'm Rundy Murphy, Director of Disease Surveillance at the Mobile County Health Department. I'm here on a Friday, March 5th, to give you our daily Facebook Live update of the happenings in Mobile County as they relate to the COVID-19 pandemic. Before I forget, next week we will return to our schedule of updates on Monday and Friday. So we feel like things have kind of gotten into a little bit of a steady state, and we can go back to just twice a week updates rather than doing them every week. So I look forward to that. But of course, if anything breaks or changes, we will be back on live with you. Okay, today, and I don't see the daily report, Mark, sorry. So, let's see. In Alabama, we've been talking about reaching that mark of 500,000 COVID cases in Alabama. We're almost at 499,000. So just remarkable to think about where we have been in the past year. And in Alabama today, 10,122 deaths. So while Mark is grabbing the daily numbers for me, I'll just report on a couple other things that we sometimes talk about on Friday. You know, we continue to receive complaints from the public, reports of cluster investigations. Thank you, Mark. People mostly telling us when they see violations of the Safer at Home order, and when that happens, we call them and we try to remind them that the Safer at Home order has been extended, for example, or that things have changed somewhat, but not maybe to the extent that people would like. So just for our team that works with as sort of as a community liaison inspection services blend, they had 18 consultations, 13 complaints, and the report of just one outbreak last week that they deal with. So everything from, wanting to report special events that aren't enforcing social distancing, restaurants that aren't wearing masks from their servers, lots of reports about school outbreaks that are happening or cases in schools, hair salons, fast food restaurants, you name it. We get lots of calls. Football teams. It's just a who's who of people that we get complaints about. So when we get those, we reach out to those business owners or agency managers to remind them that we need to all be doing our part to slow the transmission of COVID-19. Okay, so today's report in Mobile County residents, we had an increase of 32 cases of COVID-19 reported yesterday. That brings our cumulative total to 36,431. We had an increase of 3 with our reported deaths. So 3 deaths were reported to us yesterday. That brings our total to 742. And yesterday we had an increased number of people who are hospitalized with COVID, bringing our number to 4,683. Now, if you remember yesterday, the chart or the data on the number of people currently hospitalized with COVID, and this is reported to us. We hear about it yesterday, and I reported a day late. But yesterday there was a hospital that had not reported. They have gone in, cleared up their report, so our red bar is no longer a red bar, but it's tinkered a little bit with our numbers. So yesterday there were 59 people in the hospital with COVID-19. So I'm thrilled to see that number in the last 10 or 14 days has gone from in the low 100s down to less than 60. So that is really good news. So everyone, please continue to do your part. The Safer at Home order that was extended this week now allows for 2 visitors or 2 caregivers at a time to visit family members or loved ones in the hospital. So that is good news for those of you who have family members that you want to visit. But please remember to wear your mask and wash your hands and stay at home if you're sick. We need to continue doing all those things to keep our COVID transmission as low as possible so that we can protect those in our community that are most vulnerable to complications and death. And remember, get a vaccine as soon as one is offered to you. There is very a little difference in the vaccines with regard to safety. They're all highly safe. Someone asked me either in the media or on Facebook about some information on safety, and there is lots out there. There are lots of reports that have been published about the safety of the vaccine, and we always say that they're very safe, but I just pulled out one report of vaccine that was given just sort of in the first month or two, and in the first 4 million doses that were given, only 0.03 adverse events were reported. This happened to be with the Moderna vaccine, but the Pfizer stats are very similar. So in those 4 million, in the severe adverse events, so something like an anaphylaxis event where you're allergic to something in the vaccine, I think there were only 10 reported. So that would be about 2.5 anaphylaxis events per million doses given. And then for the non-serious allergic reactions or adverse events, rather, the number was around 43, which would be about 11 non-serious adverse events per 1 million people vaccinated. So that is a very safe vaccine indeed. Other question about vaccine, someone wanting to know how many people or what proportion of people are not showing up for their second dose. And this is a little bit of an elusive number because if they don't come back to us, we're not sure if they are just on vacation and they're going to come back later, if maybe they snuck in and got vaccinated their second dose at another city or another state. So it's a little tricky. Most people come back, right? I want to say probably 75, 80% of people come back on the day that they are supposed to. Maybe more than that. But we are still looking at the data to really pin down, how many just have not come back within maybe 45 to 60 days. Because again, there's no end date for that second dose. It's suggested that they come back within 28 days, but if they don't, if they come back in 45 days, we'll give them their second dose. If it's 2 months later, we'll give them their second dose. So it's a rather difficult figure to get at, but we have an overwhelming high number of people who come back from their second dose. And if they don't, we usually get on the phone with them and try to reach them to tell them when they can come for a makeup. So the only other thing that I wanted to talk about today is the second dose clinic that we have on Monday. So on Monday, anyone who is vaccinated by the Mobile County Health Department, right? If we vaccinated you at Belsall Middle School, then you can come back to Belsall Middle School on Monday to get your second dose, right? Bring your vaccine card. So you need to bring your Vax card. If you don't have it or you've lost it, just be prepared to wait a minute while we look it up in our system to make sure that we were the one that gave you your first dose and that it's been, 28 days since your first dose. But again, this is at Belsall Middle School in close to our Mount Vernon, our North Mobile location at 1650 Gartman Circle. So that is Monday starting at 9 o'clock until we have vaccinated everybody with their second dose that shows up. So I think that's it for today. Remember the safer at home order. Wear your mask, wash your hands, keep 6 feet of distance, don't gather, get vaccinated as soon as you can, and let's all do our part to continue watching that curve go down so we can protect Mobile. Thanks. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday.